Now then, my next guest on the programme is one of my favourite people. I got to know him last year when I went to the O2 to see the Les Miz O2 concert for the 25 years. Alfie Boe, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Good morning, Alex. How are you doing?
It's just gone gangbusters for you, hasn't it? It couldn't have gone any better. I mean, last year, there you were, just a nobody doing the best operas in the world. You suddenly sing Bring Him Home and everybody wants to know you.
I know, man. It's amazing what one song can do. It really is.
But, I mean, you didn't just do it averagely, you did it extraordinarily, and that's really, I think, the reason that we're talking today and that there's a tour and there was an album. You brought such heart to that song that, let's face it, has been done and ruined by so many people.
Well, thank you very much for that, Alex. It is a special song. It's really close to me, and it's nice to be associated with a song like that, you know? So I try and do it to the best of my ability every time I sing it.
Is it fun being you now? Because, let's face it, you're the darling of the West End, and who'd have thought that? Because that was never your intention, was it? I mean, you're a classical singer.
Exactly, yeah. I trained as an opera singer. I've been working on the operatic stage for the last 18 years, and now to actually be going into the West End is something else, really. It's really cool. I mean, it's amazing how you can cross from that world and be accepted with open arms, with my background being operatic, but the music theatre world really welcomed me with open arms. I was very, very flattered.
I'm not surprised at all, because the thing is about you, you don't take yourself too seriously. I think a lot of people do, and it becomes very middle and upper class and not relatable to the masses. And of course, the one thing about West End musical theatre is it has to be of mass appeal, doesn't it?
It does really, you know, and personally, I want to play to a wider audience because, you know, I like people from all walks of life. I don't just want to be categorized as an opera singer and just be able to play to an operatic audience. You know, I want to appeal to everybody.
How difficult is the show Les Miserables? I mean, you did that 2-show day, which was filmed, and it's gone around the world, and I know the Americans are loving it now. Just on that, has that opened doors for you over there? Are they now begging you to go over there and sing it?
There's a lot of interest over there now, yeah. There's, my album's just been released over there, and they're broadcasting the Les Mis production on PBS, the concert on PBS, so I may have to go over and do some promotion work for that, but also for the album too. So.
Well, that won't do you any harm. And the last person I can think of in your ilk who did that, started on PBS, was Andrea Bocelli, and he's now one of the biggest selling stars over there, and I think you're going the same way.
Well, thank you. I think he's done all right for himself, so if I can emulate that in any way, that'd be great. Well,
it's not surprising, though, is it? Because at the core of what you do is a God-blessed talent. I don't know where it comes from. Some people believe in God, some people don't, but I don't believe you can be taught it.
No, I'm very, you know, you do sort of born with a gift, and I do believe that my ability to sing is a gift, you know, and I'm very fortunate that I'm using it to the best of my ability, you know, and to entertain others, really, you know.
And of course, you got to meet a new friend through that O2 show. That's Matt Lucas. He's going to be going into the West End with you.
He is. And
I saw a very curious bit of video because you actually ended up moving in together because his house was far better than the hotel they'd given you.
Exactly. Well, I've got to say, in all defence of Cameron McIntosh, he did put me up in a pretty classy hotel. So, you know, Matt said, you know, there's nothing worse than being on your own when your family's away. My wife and my daughter were in America at the time, and he said, you know, I've got a big house, I've got a spare room, why don't you come over and crash? And you know, there's a couple of other guys here, so we all muck in, and it's a bit like being a student again, really, you know. But he's a good guy. I do a lot of cooking and then end up singing as well. So.
And that's on the YouTube. If people want to see it, there's a wonderful moment where there you are, Nessun Dormering it up, I think it was, in the kitchen, and he's blown away. That's my kind of house guest. You see, normally I end up with Sue Pollard and Joe Pasquale around my house. Never an Alfie Boe singing Nessun Dorma. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, at least you have the laughs there with Sue and Joe.
So we do. Yes, we do. And if my spare room could only speak. Hey, listen, Alfie, I'm going to take a song off this latest album, and if you like what you hear, you can see him on tour. What's your website so people can find out all the various dates?
It's alfieboe.com. If you just type that in, it'll go straight to my website and give you all the dates. For the tour. We're not playing Leeds, unfortunately, this time, but we are planning on doing that in January, I think. Because the tour is actually selling out pretty quick, I think we may have to add a few more dates.
Well, it's not good enough. You need to come here. I'm not prepared to travel for anyone, although I did go to the O2 to see you, and it was well worth it getting back at 4 o'clock in the morning, trust me.
Well, thank you. I will make the journey to Leeds, I promise.
Yes, you must get it done. Alfie Boe's with us on the big show. It's Alex Belfield in the morning. Back next with Alfie. Back with our remaining moments with Alfie Boe on Alex Belfield in the morning. We're talking to the star of Les Miserables. That doesn't really do you justice because you've had a whole professional career before this that was extraordinary and massive. It somehow doesn't matter now, though, because you've kind of come into the public domain and everybody loves you for what you are.
It really has. I mean, this last 6-7 months for me, it's just seemed to have taken off. But I have, like you say, been working for 18 years as an operatic singer. I've played on Broadway for Baz Luhrmann's La Boheme, and the cast there won a Tony honour, so I have a Tony on my mantelpiece, and it's been a real good ride. But now I'm breaking into the world a little bit more and into people's views, from the Les Miserables. So I'm very excited. I've
got an old mate from that Baz Luhrmann show over there, and his name's David, and he ended up in Il Divo. Are you still pals with him?
David Miller, yeah. We shared the role together because the show was quite a tough one to sing. 8 times a week. The cast we had to have 3 casts. So me and David shared the evening performances. We're on opposite nights, And David's done very well for himself in Il Divo. Unfortunately, we don't keep in touch much now. But whenever I'm in New York, if we bump into each other, we reminisce about the old times.
I've never seen a show like that. It's the only show I've ever seen with subtitles.
What the Boheme? Yeah, Boheme on Broadway. It was really cool. A lot of the operas in London do that as well. A lot of the operas in New York as well. They always have the subtitles above the stage, so you can actually understand what people are saying. But I try and tell people not to worry about that, not to read the translation, and not to worry about it being in a foreign language. I always just tell them to be affected by the music. If the music's making them feel happy or sad or whatever emotion it's giving them, then it's doing the job. You don't have to be that educated with opera.
And the great thing about your voice is it has incredible pathos to it and a certain tragedy, certainly in Les Mis. And having heard you in the past with opera, you kind of need that, don't you? You need to take your guests in that theatre to a different, better place.
You do really. It's basically a film with music. You're acting with music, and the dialogue is just all put to a melody. But personally, for me, when I'm performing, it's all about the words. It's all about what you're saying, and portraying that emotion across. And then the music seems to come. The music seems to come through that.
I think you're incredible. Here's my prediction. Come 2012, 2013, I think you're going to open as Jean Val Jean on Broadway in Les Miserables. I think they're going to fall in love with you in the next 6 to 9 months. And once you've made it over there, you've made it anywhere. Is it something that you're really keen to do?
I would love to. If Les Mis goes to Broadway, I'd jump at the chance at doing it. I really would. To be able to say that you've played Jean Val Jean in the West End and on Broadway would be incredible.
And this DVD, if you haven't seen it, we had a tremendous reaction to it. Over Christmas, we talked to you then and we played the tracks from it and we got the tracks from your new CD. And women particularly, if you don't mind me saying, Alfie Boe, seem to think that you're a nice bit of trouser.
That's very nice. I'm very flattered.
How does that feel? I've never had that feeling.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really notice that myself, but no, it's very kind of them to say so. I'm blushing while I'm saying all this now, but no, it's very nice.
Are you back with the current Mrs. Boe?
I am. Yeah, we're together. She's over here, and my little daughter as well is here as well. So we're setting up home in London and making a go of it over here.
Which was at the O2. It was a spectacular night. Just that feeling of 18,000 people looking at you, listening on your every word. Can you describe how that feels?
Oh man, it's incredible. I mean, when you walk out on the stage, you can't ignore the amount of people that are out there or the space that you're playing. A lot of people say, do you just block it? Do you just blank the audience? Do you just blank the size of the arena? And I think if you do that, then that's a slippery path. You have to really embrace it. And by the end of the evening, that arena felt like my front living room. You know, it's an incredible thing to experience. But again, you'll see that on the DVD. The whole audience were on. It was as though they were on stage with you. The whole arena became a stage.
Is there ever a moment where you stand there in the back and think, I can't do this? Because there's an incredible pressure to get it right, and a lot of people are going to notice if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, you go through elements of doubt. But that's the pre-show nerves. I mean, all nerves is just wanting to do well and wanting to achieve your goal. Performances are going to differ from one to another, and you're not really going to. They're going to be good in their own way, but you'll never really, as an artist, you'll never really be satisfied with what you do. Well, I certainly am not. I always want to achieve to do better, to strive to do better.
That saddens me in a way, because I wonder whether you enjoyed it as much as we did. I want to think that you could take what we did from your performance. Yeah. How do you keep that in balance?
I have to say that I loved every single minute. It was the highlight of my career.
Oh, good.
Without a doubt, to say that. And I did. I loved every single minute. I loved every person in that audience because I felt connected with every single one of them.
Yeah.
You know, especially after the ovation that I got from Bring Him Home, I really felt like I was playing to friends.
What also is really interesting about those gigs, I think they're very exposing because the PA systems are so loud and big, and I think there was something like a 600-piece orchestra. How big was it? It was enormous, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was a huge band.
Just very quickly on that, is there any better thrill for a singer to have a live band behind you of that size? Because that's completely unique in show business.
It is. I mean, wow. I think. I've sung with so many orchestras in my career. That was something else, to have a band that size and have that volume blasting behind you. That was incredible. I mean, again, on an intimate level of performing, recording is always recording your own albums is always a very special event. You know, because you get to. It's just you and the orchestra, so it really is a small, tight-knit team of people. For example, I've just finished recording my new album, which came off the back of the O2 concert. It's called Bring Him Home, and that's released on the 27th of December.
What's the point of that then? You've missed the Christmas rush.
I know. Well, it's for everybody who gets the record vouchers and things, and it's like you know, they say oh, I should have got my uncle that, or I should have got my aunt this, you know, and so they'll think, oh, Alfie Boe's album. So all the albums that they get for Christmas, they'll be able to take them back
and swap it for yours.
Exchange it for mine. Do you know what I mean?
That's smart.
That's how it works.
I like that. I just want to talk a bit about you before we go, and then I'm going to be more gloating about this DVD and the CD as well, which is out for Les Miserables. Where are you from? And how did you get here? It seems to me like the Russell Watson story, where just one day you were born singing and the next day we all wanted to listen to you.
Well, I'm originally from Lancashire, Fleetwood in Lancashire, just north of Blackpool. But I've been singing since I was probably about 14 years old. In amateur productions and local amateur operatics and things like that. And it was at the age of probably 19 that I decided to try and aim to become a professional singer. And I auditioned for a company called the D'Oyly Carte Opera Company, off the recommendation of a customer that I was working for in a car factory.
It's not rhyming slang, is it, Alfie?
No.
I'm just wondering.
But I was singing away in the factory that I worked at, and was advised by the customer whose car I was working on at the time. I worked in a car factory. Said, you know, you should become a professional singer. You've got a good voice. And I'd had a few other people tell me this, and it was on my mind all the time. How do I get into the business? How do I break into this? And so I auditioned for a company called the D'Oyly Carte Opera Company and went on a national tour with them. Got taken on, went on a national tour, and from that, I decided to go and have formal training. So I went to the Royal College of Music, then the National Opera Studio, and studied for 5-6 years to become a professional opera singer. I wanted to take the voice as far as I could go. And I've worked with many opera companies around the world, and this is my break into musical theatre, my little venture into musical theatre now, taking part in the Les Mis. And I've got to say, it's the it is the highlight of my career. It's the best thing I've ever done. And
trust me, not all musical theatre is as good as that performance of Les Miserables at the O2. Trust me. Go and see Mamma Mia. You won't be saying the same thing. Trust me.
I can say that exactly. I can say that about opera as well. You know, there's some fantastic operas out there, but there's some absolutely dreadful ones.
Some shockers.
Yeah.
It seems to me that you were born singing. When I hear your voice, I don't believe you can be trained whatsoever to do what you did that night. You were born singing. Maybe you've got better. There's definitely a gift, isn't there?
I think you are given an ability. You are given a gift to perform, whether it's a dancer or whether it's a singer or whatever. You know yourself. You're a presenter. But you just work on the talent that you're given to achieve your goals and to improve, to get better. And I never stop learning. I'm constantly learning and striving to do better.
In terms of this DVD, I've been really nice about it, and I was there. Is it one of these where they're going to say, well, you had to be there? Because I've seen the DVD, and honestly, it's amazing. But it wasn't amazing as being there, because the live thing is where you're at, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, live performance is something else. You know, it really is something else to experience it firsthand. But the technology that they have with the DVD, with it being in high definition, and also the Blu-ray, which is just incredible technology, you really do experience the same feeling and the same event. I mean, people that have come up to me and said they went to the cinema and saw it on the big screen, and they were in tears as well. It was almost like they were there. The amount of people that I've spoken to said the audience were on their feet in the cinema. They were applauding as though they were in the auditorium. So I think you do get the same experience from the DVD as you would do at the live concert. All
right then, Alfie, here we go. I think, having seen you live in that, I've never seen you live before, although I've heard your CDs, I think you're our greatest tenor ever. You have got a voice like no other. I have never heard a voice like it live. I'm not just saying this because you're on. I've had 82 stars on since August talking about their new releases, and this has to be the greatest of them all. I've never heard a voice like it. I've never seen a show like it. I've never seen an orchestra on that scale like it. Phenomenal. I don't know how many nice things to say about you, Alfie, truly.
Alex, thank you so much. That means so much.
Let's have a beer sometime. Congratulations on the new DVD and the CD. It's called Les Miserables 25th Anniversary Special, and it's out now, and it is just breathtaking, as are you. Alfie Boe's new album's out at the end of December. Will you come on again?
I would love to, Alex. Anytime you want me to.
Great to talk to you. Alfie Boe.
Thank you, Alex.